Scott Pruitt is starting from pole position. He has won here in St. Petersburg before. Can he do it again? Here we go for 2003. It looks like Gentilozzi who has the jump, and he's got the outside line. It will be Scott Pruitt who leads the field in. Look on the inside. Mike Lewis squeezes through on the inside of Tommy Greasy.
Mike Lewis really got a great start and tried a very risky move. It paid off in huge dividends for him. You see him right there running that orange and black Jaguar, the fourth car picture right there going through the picture. He got a tremendous start. Mike Lewis, another one, much in the same vein as Stu Hainer. He's very smooth in the car. He can make his car live a long time without damaging tires or transmission.
On board with Diaz Jr. and he puts Randy Ruhlman wide. Contact already. So the young rookie is not being pushed around by the more experienced drivers. Now Ruhlman gets through.
Ruhlman fights right back. That was really nice. Now, Jorge Diaz did have a couple of problems. You saw earlier we showed the replay during one of the qualifying sessions, hit the wall. Even this morning in the warm-up, he did spin the car. His Jaguar has looked loose, like with a lack of grip on every session on this track.
1, 2, and 3. It's the Rocket Sports Jaguars. Scott Pruitt, Paul Gentilozzi, and Johnny Miller. That's exactly how they qualified. But Mike Lewis, the surprise in turn 1, was very forceful. Look at Gentilozzi as they come through the hairpin and complete the first lap. Here we go. He is running nice and hard and strong to Pruitt. The view back from Stu Hainer's car, and Boris said is now down into the 1:15 to 1:15.0. It is the fastest lap of the race, and he continues this charge. Sorry to see Bob Ruman in trouble. It's the hometown of his major sponsor. Gene McNichols from McNichols Co. Is here. They've got a lot of VIPs and guests, and that's tough to see Bob struck down like that. But let's get back to the action of the 33 ACS Express Ford Mustang. Here comes Boris. He is still in ninth at the moment, charging hard, and he's got a little bit of a tougher customer to get past now.
And I think he's got a little less paint on that left rear wheel well.
Whoa!
We got him.
That's Tommy Greasy. He hit Mike Lewis, and they split. Good driving, and Boris is the big winner out of that one. He came through on the inside of Hainer, but he couldn't quite get past Tommy Greasy.
Now, there is the potential of penalty here. Anytime you hit a car and knock them out of the way, they can call you into pits for a consultation and give you a penalty. That, I don't know. I think that was maybe just an incident of racing. Looks like they're both going for the same piece of track. And I think it was kind of incidental contact, but it's possible.
Let's take a look at the replay. Talk us through, Bill.
Yeah, now you could see him coming down the inside. Both cars clearly in control, no brake. And right there at the last minute, he realized that the car was turning in, was not going to be able to avoid it. He did try to avoid it, but at that point, you're committed. It's like jumping off a diving board. Once you're up in the air, there's not a whole lot you can do.
No doubt about it. Definite contact there, and Tommy Greasy got away with it. Now, we've just been told from race control that Tommy Greasy will receive a black flag and a stop-go penalty.
And I think that's not a bad idea. I mean, it was one of those things that's questionable. I wouldn't have given it, but if the organizers are going to do it, they're setting up a standard here, and I do like that idea. I wouldn't want to see... Oh, and Paul Gentilozzi goes by for the lead.
Our first lead change, and the boss is out in front, Paul Gentilozzi, in the Rocket Sports Jaguar. An extremely busy weekend. If you missed the opening round of the Champ Car World Series, of course, Paul Gentilozzi now has a team in the Champ Car World Series with Alex Tagliani, and this is John Balcon. His strong early run looks to be in trouble. Smoke coming from that car. So Gentilozzi's been juggling the Champ Car team and his responsibilities with the Trans Am Series as well. It brings a new definition to the word busy.
Well, here's the pass for the lead, coming down into turn 1 under late braking. You see how early Paul turns his Jag into the corner, actually gets up over the curb on the inside, not taking any chances at all of coming into contact with Scott's car.
Change for the lead. Scott Pruitt is back in front, and here comes Johnny Miller. The Rocket Sports boys are having a ball. We continue here at St. Petersburg. Let's take a look back at an earlier incident with Greg Pickett. He was running so well. He was up to 6th, running strong in the Jaguar. And it seems, Bill, as though he just ran straight on.
Yeah, I mean, this is really a bit of a mystery. It didn't appear there was any sort of a problem. Greg had been putting in some very quick laps. He was running 4 seconds a lap faster. He qualified. And here is a replay right here. Boris said taking over 3rd place.
Here we go. Our first caution is over and done with, and Boris said pushes hard. At the back there of Paul Gentilozzi. He's in a Rocket Sports sandwich at the moment. He looks on the inside of Paul Gentilozzi. It's Pruitt, Gentilozzi, Jaguar, then Ford Mustang, then another Jaguar of Johnny Miller, then Stu Hainer.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting right now. You can see Paul's rear tires were control nowadays. Again, he's sideways, and Gentilozzi repasses.
What a comeback from Paul Gentilozzi. They are just going blow for blow. This is a true street fight. Gentilozzi versus Sed, and here comes Johnny Miller. He's playing the team game. Now it's Stu Hayner. He feels he's in with a shot as well. Hayner on the inside of Johnny Miller. Great start.
Hayner, a beautiful pass. Miller look at Miller getting sideways off the corner. None of these fellas have their tires up to temperature. They are all just sliding around here like sprint cars. This is brilliant racing.
Well, we're going to be talking a lot about that in the coming laps. Sed on the inside. Look at this. Door handle, and Sed is through. Now Johnny Miller lines up for a shot as well. Gentilozzi is in major trouble.
He's backing out of it. Paul is definitely backing out, letting Johnny Miller have a shot at him.
Wow. Well, I said we were going to be talking a lot about that front end. Calvin, can you tell us some more about that?
The team is setting up a spare front end here, but it takes 5 to 8 minutes to change one of these things, so last resort is just try and get him back out there and score some points possibly. So if he's going to stay in the hunt for a podium finish, he'll keep charging on. So I'm sure it's affecting the handling though. When that splitter seals off, theoretically it should put, but it's probably the inconsistency of that that's causing him trouble.
Yeah, the other thing too that I would worry about also, Calvin, is that you could see the radiator, the position that it had on that front nose box. If the nose box itself is collapsing, potentially the bottom of the radiator is hitting the road, so maybe he's overheating, losing water.
2 Champ Car race victories, 2 Trans Am Series titles. Scott Pruitt is back, and he's back in style. Pruitt wins at St. Petersburg. Scott Pruitt's return to Trans Am racing is allowing him to notch up the records, that's for sure, and he adds another pole position to his career stats. It's his second consecutive this year and third Long Beach pole. Starting alongside him, Boris Sed, and he starts in the same position as last year's Long Beach race, but Boris still searching for that first win on the streets of Long Beach. Mike Lewis, that's his best start since Mid-Ohio last year, and then we go back to Johnny Miller, also looking for win number 1 here at Long Beach. Stu Hayner, Tommy Dreesy, they make up row 3. Row 4 is Bobby Sack, the best of the rookies. He starts alongside Jorge Diaz Jr. Back to row 5, Greg Pickett, Max Lagot, the only Camaro in the field today. Malcolm and Mike Davis. We welcome Mike back to the series. Simon Gregg will start alongside Randy Ruhlman, who got moved back after changing an engine after qualifying, so he starts a little further down than where he was supposed to. Claudio Burton, and then, as we heard earlier, Paul Gentilozzi starting back on the 8th row with plenty of work to do, but just like Boris Sed did at St. Peter, we'll keep an eye out for him coming through. Some new guys in the series, Jones, Nolte, Joey Scarello returns. Here we go at Long Beach. We are away, and Boris Sed immediately pounces on Scott Pruitt side by side, heading down into turn 1. Pruitt has the better line, and he holds ground. Miller just jumps into second, and Boris tries to switch back.
And he pulls it off back underneath Miller. Miller trying to tuck in on Pruitt's bumper. Boris didn't get a very good start. You can usually make a go of it on the outside there, because that's the preferred line, a little bit better grip under braking.
Keep an eye out back in the pack with a red Jaguar of Paul Gentilozzi making his way through as well. Bobby Sack was right up with Stu Hayner. Here's Gentilozzi on Claudio Burton, trying to get by the Panos, but look at the margin that Pruitt has already opened up.
I'll tell you what, Scott was complaining about being a little rusty at St. Pete. That all went away by qualifying and race time, and he has a different mindset. He doesn't do it just for the fun of it. He is a good competitor, and he certainly hasn't lost his step.
Well, this will be interesting. There was a bit of niggle between these two guys in qualifying. Paul Gentilozzi hit Bobby Sack, and, well, you could argue either side of the fence was Bobby holding him up or whatever the situation was, but there was quite a bit of fist punching and finger pointing going on. Not fist punching on each other, I should add, but just in the air, and they were sort of pointing at each other. So I know that young Bobby Sack was pretty wound up about it, but he won't be able to argue with this. Gentilozzi has superior speed and had the position and gets through, and that battle's over. Now Gentilozzi continues this strong charge from 15th, is now in 6th.
And that lap, when he was closing the gap on Bobby Sack, was a 22 flat for Gentilozzi, which I believe is the fastest lap of the race. So he's a good ways behind. He's 11 seconds behind the lead. It's going to be hard to make it up a couple tenths of time, but he has the speed if he's able to get a yellow.
Something we should elaborate on there, which was brand new at St. Peter. And if you missed the St. Petersburg round, Trans Am has introduced something new called the competition yellow. Tommy, it occurs between 70 and 90% of race distance in the essence of creating close racing. What are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, it infuriates you when you're out in front. They used to do it before, and they just weren't as honest about it. So, I mean, I'm all in favor of spicing up the show. In this instance, it's really made for this kind of a situation. Knowing that this is the case, it's the steward's discretion. And, I mean, if I'm the steward and I'm wanting to spice up the show, if Paul Gentilozzi picks his way up to third spot, you throw a competition yellow at the end and let these three guys go at it. Again, if you're up front, it infuriates you. But what those guys are doing, they're factoring that into their strategy. They know it's probably coming, so that's why Pruitt and Boris are running in the 23-second range. You see Scott run a quicker lap every once in a while, I think, when he's getting to traffic to build himself a little bit of a cushion. But they know it's coming, so in some ways, it takes the incentive out up front. So that's one of these unintended side effects. If I'm up front, I'm sure as heck not going to extend myself. I'm going to save as much car as I can for that last 10 to 30%, wherever that competition yellow comes. Sometimes you won't have one if they don't feel you need it, but this is a case where it's kind of built for this. If Paul can get up in the third spot, bunch him up and let him go.
Gentilozzi is really starting to hassle Michael Lewis here. Lewis got held up a little bit behind Marvin Jones. Now Gentilozzi down into turn one. Great move. Thanks very much. Job done. So he now moves up to fourth place. There's only Johnny Miller, Boris said, and Scott Pruitt ahead. You hear Scott Pruitt being told there by Troy Cowgill that there's just 7 minutes to go as he keeps a very watchful eye on Boris said, the reigning champion. Here comes Boris on the inside, not quite close enough.
And that close-up in the hairpin gave us a great shot of the dive planes on the front. Look at Boris. Right in front of the front end of those black things are dive planes that are a result of the recent wind tunnel testing that the SCCA undertook to give Boris and the Mustangs a little bit of help. Look at this. I mean, Boris definitely has more car than Pruitt at this point.
And those dive planes are just temporary. They will have a whole new front end coming for that Mustang at the next round. But Sid is not done with yet. He is really giving Pruitt a good workout here. On the inside, and he's got it. The first lead change. Boris Sid is there.
They do have some adjustment in the car. They've got the adjustable sway bars, but he's obviously out of adjustment. That's one thing that I was talking about where you try to get in the sweet spot. Once you get dialed into this car, and once Scott can get used to this car, he'll know exactly how he wants those adjusters set at the start of the race to cope with this kind of a situation. His teammate Johnny Miller, you saw Scott defending the inside. Miller had the run.
Johnny Miller on the inside of his teammate Scott Pruitt. Side by side, the two Rocket Sports cars. Coming up into turn 9, Miller will have the preferred line, and Johnny's there. The Eaton Cutler Hammer Jaguar slips up into second place. Now what can Pruitt? Does Pruitt have anything to come back on Johnny Miller?
Will be your last lap, Scott. Last lap.
Final lap. White flag is out for Boris Said. Came from the back of the field to second, the reigning champion in St. Petersburg. Now he has just 1 lap left to run, less than 2 miles to notch up his first victory on the streets of Long Beach.
We talked about making a statement here today for Boris Said. What a statement Johnny Miller is making up against these 4 fancy teammates. Scott Pruitt, Paul Gentilozzi, and he's really been wicked fast here in Long Beach over the year. 4 podiums in the 6 runs that he's had here, and he's looking strong for another one today.
Boris Said is all fired up coming into this round. Trans Am asked all of their drivers and teams to display some decals for either the Army, the Air Force, the Marines, the Navy, or the Coast Guard as a mark of respect for what the armed forces have done overseas. Boris said, yeah, man, absolutely, I'll take one for the Marines. He's got a new short version haircut. He's dedicated that to the Marines. He said he wanted to enlist, but they wouldn't let him enlist for just 6 months. So he is all fired up, and he is on his way to what's been a very well-calculated victory.
Well, he said at the start, he made the analogy to the armed forces. He said, I plan to do the same thing that our armed forces. I've got a better piece, a better plan, and we're going to go out there and kick their you-know-what. And I'll tell you what, he has had plenty left there.
Boris said, this will be Trans Am victory number 12. It's number 1 for 2003, and Big Boris is pumped. Said does it on the streets of Long Beach. Johnny Miller, a well-deserved second. Pruitt into third. Gentilozzi and Jorge Diaz Jr., the best of the rookie. And Greg Pickett looks like he may have run out of fuel. Struggling to come across the line. Lost a couple of positions right at the end. The ACS Express team, along with their new sponsors, New Century Mortgage, absolutely delighted. And Zed is your man today. Well done, Boris.
Here we go.
16 cars, 100 miles. Green flag is in the air. Pruitt down into turn 1. Tracy falls to second. Here's Diaz trying to get to the inside of the racetrack.
Boy, and Johnny Miller made a sensational start. I think the only reason he backed out there was because it was his teammate alongside. Didn't want to take a chance on bumping Tommy Dreese's white Jaguar there in second place. Great start by everybody.
Right in front by a couple of car lengths. Heading toward Moss Corner, then the backstretch here at this legendary facility. And we'll get Calvin in position to figure out what's wrong with the Rockets.
Well, Paul Gentilozzi brings the Jag in, and you don't expect this man to qualify fifth here. He's been a two-time winner here at Motorsport Park, and they had a big carburetor problem after qualifying that they finally found the reason for his lack of speed. But right now, the hood has come off. I'm unsure what the problem is. It doesn't seem to be running quite right.
After his technical problems, Paul Gentilozzi in number 3 suffered even further disaster when he had a penalty for speeding in the pits. He then tried to unlap himself from Michael Lewis. And as we see here, as Gentilozzi goes up the inside of Michael Lewis, the two come together at the apex of the corner. The result, a destroyed left rear wheel rim for Gentilozzi. But no such worries for Scott Pruitt as he takes his second win of the year, and it should be noted, his 4th win from 4 appearances at the Mosport track in Canada. Pruitt takes the championship lead with a 19-point advantage over Johnny Miller.
They throw the green. Watch the spray. Fly. Stu Hayner looking for a quick start. Johnny Miller on the left of your screen. Pruitt to the right in the silver Jaguar. And Hayner takes the inside line and he pushes for second early.
That a really good move on Stu Hayner's part. I think both lead drivers took a very conservative approach. That's what you want to do. You got to keep in mind this is a long race, and right now they don't know what the conditions are like. They didn't get a chance to warm up before this race, so it's very much a new, strange track to them. They want to be very quick. Brian Simo, you also see just trying to maybe find the outside line in the corner, which is usually the good line.
Rain has picked up since we first started the show. Johnny Miller leads from Stu Hayner. Then it's Scott Pruitt from Brian Simo. Then Bobby Sack is up there ahead of Jorge Diaz Jr., Tommy Dreese, then Mike Lewis. And look how gingerly they're taking it.
Yeah, the spray is enormous. And look at, I think Hayner is going to come up and challenge right away. It looked like he was closing up on the tail of Miller. He's getting wide. Now he's over a concrete patch right there. They're all taking different lines, trying to see where the best traction is.
Look at that. This camera shot shows you just how wet it is. That stationary camera up on top of the bridge. Look at Stu Hayner here. The outside line, the wet line. And he sweeps around the outside of Johnny Miller. Now it's a drag race. Corvette versus Jaguar.
Yeah, and I think Miller's going to let him have it too. You can see Hayner well in advance. He got a terrific run going down the hill there. Oh boy, and we almost saw Johnny Miller just throw it away right there. He is really getting after Brian Simo. Came off a corner and forgot about a puddle that builds up right on the inside of that one little, I'll call it an apex in the back straight. But there's always that puddle there. The car is hydroplaned in a heartbeat.
Let's have a look at it.
Here's a now watch as he approaches this right on the inside, right here. Look at that. Look at the car go sideways. Boy, great job hanging on to that thing.
Calvin, tell us more about Johnny Miller.
Well, I saw him coming down into turn 1 on the last lap. He had a peek underneath Brian Simo. Now he goes to the outside, but under braking, he was really twitching it up down there. Looked like he had a little bit too much rear brake into it, but we see Scott Pruitt, what looks like fadingly, but I think he's just really using his experience. We talk about tire conservation in the dry. Same thing applies in the wet. If this thing goes green, you need to have some good wet tires underneath you, and with the possibility of a yellow, of course, anything can happen out here this afternoon. He wants a good car at the end of this one.
Johnny Miller out braking. Simo down into Big Bend and now moves back up into second. And look at Bobby Sack. This is a very impressive run. He's pushing hard. He's got ahead of Scott Pruitt. Then it's Newman in 6th. Jorge Diaz back in 7th. And we have lost Tommy Dreese. He has spun off the circuit. Brian, our race leader is off. Stu Hayner has spun. And that looks like the outside of Big Ben. Welcome back to Lime Rock Park. This is round 4 of the Trans Am Series for the BF Goodrich Tires Cup. And this guy was enjoying a very healthy lead, about 7 seconds. And it's all gone wrong. And Paul Newman runs off the circuit as well. Let's have a look at a replay. Let's see what we can find out happened to Stu Hayner.
Well, let's take a look as he comes down the main street. Watch for the front brakes, perhaps locking up over some water, standing. Oh, no, he got, what on earth? I haven't seen anybody do that. Maybe he just lost concentration for a moment and perhaps got the outside wheels on that painted white line at the edge of the track, losing traction.
Brian Simo is not relenting. He is handling this pressure. He's accepting every bit of it. And Bobby Sack again just tries to put his nose on the inside there. This is good close racing, guys.
Yeah, you and I both heard the wheel spin of Brian coming over the crest of that hill right there. Brian is trying really hard right now. He's working very, very tough.
You know, Bobby doesn't seem to be spinning the tires at all. Brian on the rev limiter in a couple of those grip spots. Bobby's attempt to go inside to steer Brian isn't going to work.
See another dive down the inside right here.
He may have him. He hit him. Stay there, Brian.
Now they regather, they gather up and settle down, and Bobby Sack does. Oh, now he collects him again.
But you know what? That was accidental because he hit that little puddle on the inside. Yeah, that one wasn't.
Whoa, around goes Brian Simo.
Yeah, I think that'll send you to the back. I don't know.
And Don Sack, whether he has a vision monitor down in that pit box, he may or may not have seen that. His son was involved in some fairly hairy moments. Let's have a look at that.
Brian won't be happy about that.
Well, first of all, coming down into turn one, once again, Bobby Sack does this patented by now, straight into the corner, and right there, very, very tiny impact. Not a problem. You see Brian Simo handle that easily. And then as he goes around, he's going to dive into this puddle right about here. That loses a lot of grip. Then he slides over, accidentally tags him there. But the next tag, this is accidental.
There was one there.
That one isn't accidental. And I don't think this one is either.
Well, we're being told that Jorge Diaz Jr. has just crashed. There he is there. Well, let's have a look at the replay. Yeah, there doesn't seem to be too much damage on the car. Let's have a look what happened.
Oh boy, this going right straight off. No grip.
Oh, it's a little tire rub deal there.
Man, how close can you come?
And we have had a big weekend of racing here at Lime Rock Park with the Speed World Challenge events, and that has been a very, very sticky point. Under a full course caution, the safety car is out on the track, and this is the reason why. Can you believe it? Scott Pruitt, as we went to the break, we said he is on a charge, he's on the way up, and he is going nowhere now. Stuck, bogged, on the outside of the left-hander, and here's what happened.
Just simply got too far out. At that area of the track, there is no grip at this point, and now it's a case of he's a passenger. You can't even control the car. The only thing he tries to do is keep his foot on the gas. You see the rear tire spinning. He knows he's going to get real slippery ground, but too late.
Any other day, you know, it would be dry there. You drive right through. He got a little wide going around Garrett Plagian, and now he's watching the championship drive by him.
And Calvin, that was that's a painful sight for his championship points.
Oh, points is big with Johnny Miller out front. He is running second to Scott coming in here. Troy Cargill, I believe, is talking to Scott right now on the radio. We're trying to get a word with him.
It is about to be 2 victories for Johnny Miller. San Diego 2000 was the last time. Now let's make it Lime Rock Park 2003. Johnny Lightning has done it as the rain begins to fall again. And that is Jaguar's first ever win in Trans Am Series racing at Lime Rock Park. What a milestone. We said at the top of the show it would be an historic day.
Outstanding job.
And well done to Johnny Miller and the 2 rookies, Bobby Sack, Jorge Diaz Jr. They will stand on the podium.
At Sears Point, Pruitt wins in front of Michael Lewis and Boris Sedge to once again reestablish himself as the man to beat in the championship. At Cleveland for round 6, Pruitt in his Jaguar starts from pole for the 5th time of the year and leads the race. And if you look closely at the bottom of the screen, you will see something on the track. And Johnny Miller catches the front end of his car, unfortunately, blocking the air intake of the motor. And Miller would unfortunately have to make a stop in the pits to avoid overheating. It was clear that Miller was becoming the most dangerous driver for Pruitt in the championship, but here in Cleveland he would only finish 9th. And finally, Pruitt wins in front of Puerto Rican rookie Jorge Diaz. and Max Lagat came in third. The Trois-Rivières Street Circuit in Quebec was the host for round 7. And the big fight was scheduled between Scott Pruitt and Johnny Miller on one of the most difficult tracks of the championship. Pruitt dominates the race and takes his 5th win of the year in front of Miller and Dreese, who came in third.
Scott Pruitt has used 5 wins in 7 races this year to put a hammerlock on the SCCA Trans Am Series point lead. Johnny Miller's challenge to Pruitt's dominance will start from the pole today at the series' fastest racetrack, Road America. Chasing the 2 veterans, rookie leader Jorge Diaz. For more than 3 decades, the Trans Am Series has come to race at Elkhart Lake. The roar of the big V8s on the long straights, a match made in motorsport heaven. Today it's round 8 of the Trans Am Series for the BF Goodrich Tires Cup, the Trans Am 100 at Road America. Well, with just 3 races to go, including this one, points is the real talking issue at the moment. There's just 40 that separate the top 2, Scott Pruitt and Johnny Miller, the Rocket Sports teammates. You can see there the remainder in the top 8, and Jorge Diaz Jr. showing particularly well in his debut season. The manufacturers is a big talking issue today as well, because that title can be clinched. Jaguar could bring up number 3 in the history of Trans Am Series racing. Watch for the green. Here we go. It's Miller versus Pruitt off that front row. Miller will have the inside run. Look at them. They almost touch. But it looks like Scott Pruitt has got a run on him.
I think he did. I think Scott got a great start. But remember, Miller has the inside down to this very fast right-hand turn 1. Look at Pruitt on the outside.
Oh, he does not want to give up. And Scott Pruitt takes the lead just out of turn 1 through 2. Down the hill into 3.
What a tremendously brave move to do on cold tires. Now let's see if Johnny's going to tuck it and try and maybe draft him down the back straight. Equally as fast, because here maybe this is straight as slow as you're going downhill now.
Impressive stuff too from Bobby Sack. He got the jump on teammate Stu Hayner, so the young rookie sits in third behind Johnny Miller and Scott Pruitt. Then it's Stu Hayner. Then behind Stu, couldn't quite catch a glimpse then.
Well, let's see how Miller goes, because he's over 100 feet here from his main spot to that 8-cut hammer. Here's the head back up there.
Nice move, Michael Lewis too on the inside of Randy Wilman. Then there's Will Menard. And then Justin Bell.
This is on board Stu Hayner. That's watching his teammate Bobby Sack right out the back there. Eric Corbett's.
Plenty of positional changes on the opening lap, so Hayner now moves up to third. Chasing the 2 Rocket Sports Jaguars.
Bobby close right up under brake there. Right now, they're really just kind of letting things settle in as much as you can. It is so difficult to contain your emotion. Listen to the sound of the long, carousel here. Back on board the ex-Jandelosi car. Paul Scott. I can see this one.
These Paul Scott just lands it out. Yeah, different colour scheme. And that was always Paul Jandelosi's intention this year, that he would not run the full season. He is very busy, of course, now being the owner of a Champ Car team, and we should say congratulations too to the Johnson Controls Rocket Sports team. It's Menard.
Got him.
Great bomb dive right on the inside of Justin Bell. Can Bell respond back on the inside?
Look at Diaz.
Terrific move on the inside. Now Bell's lining him up, but can't quite squeeze through.
Diaz has got a much better line up the corner. Bell tried to take a line. Just look out the back of Menard's car right now. I would watch for Diaz to try and get a shot by Justin Bell here.
Just to finish that point, we congratulate Rocket Sports because Tagliani is on the pole up in Montreal. So very big for Rocket Sports.
Yeah, he saw Justin Bell moving to the outside edge where he ideally wanted to be, to the middle of the track to try and block Diaz from going around this long carousel corner.
Keep in mind that Jorge Diaz did get some assistance from that caution, but he was making great progress. He started 19th, now he runs 7th.
And I think it's very important because his chief competitor for the rookie season, Bobby Sack, currently running is in 3rd place. Bobby has had a lot this season, destroyed breakages and different mechanical failures. But a 3rd place finish
well,
really
look
helped.
at this. Is Sack in trouble because Menard has caught up incredibly, and he's got by, so Bobby Sack has problems. There goes Bell by.
Both Revolution cars.
What a shame for Bobby Sack. That was perhaps his drive of the year, though he did very well at Cleveland until toward the end of the race. But the young rookie is heading to pit road.
Geez, just when we talk about mechanical problems, we surface once again. This has crushed all 4 tires for Coface. Gearbox, a rear end.
Stu Hayner went flying on by. Hayner after his troubles and that caution. Stu is back up to 8th. He's been going exceptionally well, running some pretty quick lap times in the low 2:11s. And is this the end of the road for Bobby Sack? We'll find out, Brian.
Well, guys, the report is they think that he may have a broken axle. You see the guys in the back at the left rear of the car, or at the right rear of the car with axles in their hand. When you as a driver come in the pits, tires are one thing, a fuel can's another, but axles are something you don't want to see.
Back to it. Yeah, Diaz, Bell, and Menard. These three have been going at it for a number of laps now.
Listen to this, Lee, around here. So long, you actually have to get up to full throttle.
Oh, he ran wide. Diaz really pushing the limit.
Oh, God, his heart is doubled right there. That's a 155-mile-an-hour corner right there. Here's Bell.
Justin has a run on the inside of Paul Menard. He gets him back. So perhaps 3 or so laps back. Menard dive bombed him. Now he responds on the inside. Great driving, Justin Bell and Paul Menard.
Straight up the hill, and just off the tail of Paul Menard's car, the car that we're currently on board, Jorge Diaz is lurking. Look at Justin moving over to try and block an out-braking maneuver.
Corvette, Jaguar, Justin Bell, Paul Menard, and Jorge Diaz Jr. These three going hard at it. This is the 4th, 5th, and 6th. It's still Pruitt, Miller, Lewis up front, the top 3. We see green again. Let's go back racing.
Again, both Pruitt and Miller getting exceptional starts. Johnny Miller did not allow Scott to get away, and it is crucial. Look at him going to the inside, I think, just to make his mirror.
Has a look at the inside. Miller is right close with Pruitt now. Can Mike Lewis hang with these guys? And right behind him, it's Justin Bell, Paul Menard, and Jorge Diaz. And keep your eye out for that white Corvette, the revolution machine of Stu Hayner.
You know, one of the good things, right? Oh, here we are. Ron Board, Stu. That's right. Jorge Diaz almost gave him a bump coming out of the back straight. Look at the Jaguar actually pull away a little bit. Better horsepower in that Huffaker Jaguar up ahead of us. Most of the Jaguars in the race, Rocket Sports Engineering. Now we're on board. Diaz is gone. Q Jaguar. This is Huffaker, and look at the Corvette.
Stu on the inside. Hayner makes the move.
Holy man, what a deep braking maneuver that was.
That move came from a long way back. Stu made up his mind and said, I'm coming through. Nice work from Stu Hayner. Now he's got Paul Menard on his list. Justin Bell wants a podium in his one and only Trans Am drive for the year. And he is well in contention.
Yeah, and again, right now, I think my money's going to go on Stu Hayner coming through this pack. What Diaz may want to do is watch up ahead.
Look at Menard.
Going to be contact.
Menard and Bell. These two have been duking it out lap after lap. Now Menard's got the upper hand.
Yeah, and I suspect that Justin Bell will be looking up ahead trying to figure out how to get back by Menard. May not be aware that just off his tail. Look at Hayter. Nice tight inside line because of those fresh tires in the back of his car.
Now it's Corvette on Corvette. Let's see what the Revolution car has for Jim Durhag's car.
Down through the kink, pretty much equal. Looks like Jimmy Durhag's car went through the kink even better than Stu's. Stu's the back end of the car sliding a little bit. This is late raking to the cat of the corner. Justin Bell up the inside.
Oh, contact!
Oh no, that's a penalty.
Bell went in there very deep and KO'd Menard out into the sand trap on the outside of Canada corner. And wait for a decision. That was pretty forceful stuff.
Oh boy, that was just a move that didn't have a prayer of making it. Justin should not have tried that move.
Let's have a look at a replay. We've got several different angles for you.
Paul Menard already under late braking. Look at Justin up the inside. Realizes that he's... Well, you know what? I don't know. I'm going to maybe change my mind on that.
It looked a little different from the onboard,
didn't it? It did look a lot different. Here's Menard's car. Now look, watch up the inside. I don't know.
Contact was nowhere near as hard as what it originally looked from the onboard. It's been a good tight race between those two guys. It was a shame to see Paul shuffled out. He's lost a lot of positions after that one. He's back in 14th.
That was a lot different. I think Justin did have a very good ride in trying to make that move, so I wouldn't want to be an official on this one because I'm afraid I would withdraw that penalty that I might have once given to Justin.
The advantage of TV.
Yeah, guys. Hindsight can be so good.
Bob Rubin has spun on the outside of turn 1. Facing back down the track there. Through goes Paul Menard.
And I would venture this is going to be another pace car because that's a fairly dangerous position. He is facing right down the straight. Oh, no, another one. Tire loss.
And that looks like, is that Evan? I think that is Evan, the 68 car. Cliff Evan. Maybe he and Bob came in contact in turn 1. See, that's coming.
That's a straight between turn 1 and 2.
And I think there's been contact here. Yeah.
Yep, that's exactly it.
Cliff Evan and Bob Rubin got together. And here comes Cliff to a halt.
Able to keep going for a little while, but...
And we've lost 22 as well.
Ah,
So problems there for Brian Kubicki.
everybody partying at
And
once.
yes, we are under full force caution.
Well, they have to because particularly at the end of the straight, the cars are going down there at 170. If anybody had a brake failure, you'd go right straight through and hit that car sitting in the sand trap. Golfing.
There's Brian Kubicki. He's come to a standstill as well. So our third full course caution of this race. We'll do a bit of a clean-up. And then we'll have 3 laps to run. We are under full course caution, and we will see the white flag and full course caution as well. This race will finish under yellow. As you can see, the cleanup does continue, and there's just too many cars, too much out there, and we're running out of laps and time, Bill. Checkered flag coming out with the yellow as well. Scott Pruitt, well done. Victory number 6 of 2003, and that gets him one step closer to a third driver's title in the Trans Am Series for the BF Goodrich Tires Cup.
California driver Scott Pruitt can clinch the series championship if he scores a win here today at the Mile High City race. Johnny Miller, 44 points behind, will need a miracle to still keep his championship hopes alive. And as we see, there's a tight battle between Jorge Diaz Jr. and Michael Lewis for third in the championship standings. Only 3 points separate the two. And here we are at the start of the race as Scott Pruitt takes the lead in front of one Borat Said, another former champion, and Jorge Diaz Jr., followed by Johnny Miller and Tommy Dreese in fifth.
The 2003 Trans Am season has not been kind to Bobby Sack, and Bobby, I know you've had bad luck, but you're working on some things to get your luck changed.
That's right. The season hasn't gone exactly the way I wanted to, but over the past year, I've been spending a lot of time with my girlfriend, Jenny, and right now, I'd like to turn to Jenny. Will you marry me?
We need an answer.
Yes.
Well, you know, you make life-changing decisions every day on the racetrack, but this one is certainly going to be life-changing for Bobby Sack. It looks like the green flag has been dropped.
Bobby and Jenny put on the ring. Set the date. What the heck, you're all invited.
And as has been the case all season long, nobody's able to stop this serial winner who goes by the name of Scott Pruitt in the Trans Am Championship. Not even defending champion Boris Said. The Ford driver had no chance to overtake Pruitt, and the California native Pruitt would go on to take his 7th win of the year from 9 races.
Today, the Motor Rock Trans Am Tour for the BF Goodrich Tires Cup returns to the tight, twisty streets of downtown Miami. It's all about points, and it's about a championship, and it's about one driver, Scott Pruitt. He can clinch it today, as you can see there, in excess of a 50-point lead over Johnny Miller. And young Jorge Diaz Jr., who leads the rookie chase, is in with a shot of moving up to second. But it's all about Pruitt today. Here they come. And you heard from Tommy Dreesy. Look how anxious he is from the get-go at the start. Pruitt pulls up alongside, but Dreesy is keen to make this one a good one. He wants a good result. Here we go. The Motor Rock Miami 100 is underway.
Once again, Scott Pruitt, perfection in the start. You see he was able to get by Dreesy. Looking down the upside. Oh my gosh, sideways under braking with cold tires.
Mike Lewis and Tommy Dreesy, that was tight stuff.
What a great save. Lewis's car really getting sideways there on those cold VF tires. He's dropping back a little bit right now. Pruitt really wants to try and get away from any possible bedlam on the opening lap. He doesn't want to jeopardize losing points. He would be very smart to try and extend the lead if it's at all possible. It looks like it is.
Look at this, Miller on the inside of his teammate.
I thought he had it right there. That was a real surprise move. Very aggressive driving today, Johnny Miller. This is excellent.
Well, with 15 here he comes. Oh, nice stuff from Johnny Miller. Right up on the back of Tommy Dreesy. How long can Tommy sustain this pressure?
Wow. Well, Johnny's been doing a few NASCAR races this year, and I think he's learning.
Well, guys, Tommy Dreesy and Michael Lewis, they both have probably 2 more hours on this racetrack than anybody else. That may speak to their qualifying performance. Don't forget, they ran an ALMS car here for the last 2 days, Friday and Saturday. They probably know this racetrack better than anybody else, and they know how the car will wear on it. The question is, are they saving a little bit right now so they make sure they'll have something at the end? They ran 2 hours and 45 minutes yesterday. They know what happens to this track and your car when you stay on it for that period of time. So let's watch the end of the race and see if these guys have something for the other guys at the end.
Yeah, you know what, Brian, I agree. I think that running the extra cars has really been good, particularly for Tommy. I think the added time that he has gained by driving the American Le Mans car has really helped his driving this year. But the one thing I'm wondering about is he's had such a frustrating season. Does he even want to lay back? As we watch Miller just do a great late braking pass down the inside of Dreesy. Fantastic pass. The bottom was great. But to finish off that thought, I think Miller or Dreesy's had such a frustrating year with the car braking so many times that I don't think he'll want to lay back. He's just going to go for it and hope for the best.
We've now got a one-on-one fight. It's the top 2 in the championship and the top 2 in this race. Scott Pruitt, Johnny Miller, they've been trading fast lap times, but Pruitt has just pulled out a 54.0. That is probably the fastest lap of the race, so Scott is flying at the moment now that he's in some clear space, but Johnny is on the chase. Johnny Miller is hunting down Scott Pruitt. Will we see a one-on-one fight here? Can Miller catch Pruitt? Less than a full lap to go, and Scott Pruitt will not only win yet another race and have 22 race victories, but he will be a 3 times Trans Am champion and join the late Mark Donoghue and Paul Gentilozzi with 3 titles to his name. Great stuff. It's been a wonderful year.
How amazing the year has been for Scott Pruitt. Johnny Miller still trying right to the end. You saw his car get loose under braking there, sliding out wide. He's got his foot. His heart is in this.
The Motor Rock Jaguar comes to the line.
Good job, buddy.
And Scott Pruitt is not only a race
All
winner.
right, boys. How about that championship, baby? How about it? That was great, dude. That was great.
He is the champion. Pruitt is the champion for the 2003 Motor Rock Trans Am Tour.
You got a copy?
The final race of the year was held in Puerto Rico for the first time since the 1950s. Motorsports is well back on the island of Puerto Rico. And here at the start of the race, once again, Scott Pruitt takes the lead in front of Bobby Sack and Michael Lewis. Even if he is already champion, he still wants to win the race. And here's the key to this particular race. On lap 29, the race comes under the full yellow, and Puerto Rican GTS champion Wally Castro comes to the pits to change tires while the others stay on course. Before the pit stop, Castro was lying 6th. He now comes out 13th. Truly a huge gamble for the local driver. Some laps later, and it's another full course yellow. Pruitt still in the lead in front of Sack, and Wally Castro's up to 3rd. But Pruitt is in trouble and he'll have to dive into the pits as the green flag comes back out. And as you see here, local driver Castro overtakes Bobby Sack to take the overall lead. And we've come to the final lap of the 2003 championship, and it's local driver Wally Castro who wins in front of Bobby Sack and Tommy Dreese. Certainly to the delight of all of his local fans. And in the final championship standings, it's Scott Pruitt who takes his third Trans Am Championship title, equaling one Paul Gentilozzi. Only the legendary Mark Donohue has more titles with 4. Jorge Diaz Jr. was named Rookie of the Year for the 2003 championship. And that brings an end to our season review of the 2003 Trans Am Series.